Welcome into the stream. Hello, everybody that is tuning in. What's going on? And welcome to the stream. Everybody that hears my voice, all of you early birds, every single one of you, say what's up in that chat. I'm going to try to say hello to as many of you as possible. What is going on, Katie? What is up, Elena? What's up, Jeff? What's up, Julie, Peta, Ty? What's going on, Montana, Emily, Daisy, Invisible, Turtle, Meiji, MJ, Rotted, Susanna. For everybody tuning in here, the first 600 of you guys, make sure that you're double tapping on that phone screen. Let's try to get up to 50,000 likes really quick and really easy in the stream here today, as well as make sure to share out this stream with a handful of friends. Let's get up to about 500 shares, ladies and gentlemen. And we are going to go ahead and hop right into the conversations. If you voted for Trump, make sure to hop in that queue. And I'm gonna pull you up here. Also, I just thought that I'd take a brief moment to extend you all my best wishes for going into the new year. I know that 2024 was a little bit rough with the outcome of the election, and hopefully we could all maintain a little bit of optimism about the next year. However, I know that is difficult. But let's go ahead and get our first guest up of the night. I do just want to kind of repeat the sentiment that if you did not vote for Trump, if you are not a Republican, if you're not MAGA, please don't hop in the queue. Every single day, we have trolls that come up into the live and mess around with me. And I understand that sometimes that could be funny, but it really does kind of slow down the purpose of this stream. So please do not hop in the queue unless you are MAGA. But let's go ahead and get our first guest, Oscar, up in the night, you guys. And for the first 1.2 thousand people in the stream, welcome in. Do double tap, do spam the comment sections, and do share. What's going on, Oscar?
2024.
There we go. Awesome. Well, interesting. Okay, so why did you vote for Trump, Oscar?
Because he has Elon Musk on his side, and he's dark gothic MAGA.
Okay. So W oligarchy? Like we should put the richest people in our country in charge of the country. I have a question. Do you think that the richest person that has ever existed speaks for you and the other average Americans a lot like you?
I think he speaks for dark gothic MAGA, and dark gothic MAGA speaks for me.
Okay. All right, buddy. Even he was joking when he said that, so we're going to go to kick you and move on. Banned! No, sir. What's up? Did you vote for Trump?
What's good? Yes, sir. You kind of young, man. What's up, man?
I am kind of young. That's right. I just turned 20 a handful of months ago, but
Okay. Your first time voting, huh?
yeah, that was my first time voting. So why do you vote for Trump, man?
Well, because it's my third time voting, and the Democrat Party, yeah, they flopped first three times around.
They flopped. Okay, so yeah, I have a question.
They're just not good. I think Obama was the end of the Democratic Party, man.
Okay, so yeah, why was Trump a
Mhm.
better candidate than Kamala Harris? Would you be able to describe this relating to their policy or character?
Policy, and I don't really know either of them character, but policy wise, I didn't really know exactly what policies she was promoting other than
Okay.
women's rights.
Okay, well, I certainly did. I think that she was more transparent about her policy than Donald Trump. I think that
At what point?
at about 40 days after she announced her campaign and about 2
40
months before the
days.
election.
40 days out. Oh, okay.
No, not 40 days out, 40 days after she announced her campaign. So I just want to ask you a question. Do you think that Trump was pretty clear and transparent about his policy?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
we know what
So,
Trump's about.
okay, I'm going to ask you a handful of
Trump's
questions.
about bringing jobs back to America, getting people back to work. That's what Trump's about.
Do you mind if I ask you what his policy is to achieve that goal?
Well, there's different ways. Tariffs that help. I mean, what other goal do you think you want to push? What you
Oh, so
mean?
it's a tariff. So his plan to bring jobs back to America is tariffs. So that's a really bad
To an
plan. Okay.
extent, yeah.
So that's a really bad plan because
I
tariffs,
don't
right?
think
Not
so.
only it is. So tariffs not
Tariffs have
only
been around for decades now.
well, no, they've been around for centuries, not decades, hundreds of years, right? But the reason that tariffs are bad is because they destroy, right, American companies that are reliant on exports. Because when we tariff another country, they tariff us back, and our exports decline. As well as they destroy the average American, and regressively so, because they cause inflation. I mean, for instance, if we want to talk about specifics, I mean, the tariffs that he wants to place on Canada are estimated to raise the price of your gas by upwards of $1 per gallon. The
Oh,
tariffs that
they
he wants,
already went up. Gas is up now, so I
yeah, and you'd
mean,
hate for it to go up more, right?
it won't.
Oh, yes. So
They
tariffs
usually
will
hover around
cause
$3.
So tariffs will cause the price of your gasoline to go up.
They already have. I mean, I don't know what you mean.
No, they haven't
Trump's
already
not
done
even
that
in the
because
White
Trump
House.
hasn't imposed his tariffs yet.
So whose tariffs are we under now?
We don't. So, I mean, the only tariffs that we have right now are on China, and that's not really causing the price of our gas to go up because vast majority of our imports for oil and gas are from Canada, and we don't have any tariffs on Canada right now.
Well, maybe we should put some on them.
So
No,
maybe
nobody really cares about Canada anyway. Maybe we should make Canada the northern United States. What you
okay.
think?
So no, colonialization and imperialism is bad, but I
No,
think
it's
that we
not.
okay.
It's
So
not.
colonialization is a good thing.
Hell yeah, especially if you're paying money for countries like
Okay,
China. I mean, like
so when the Europeans came to
Mexico
America
and
and colonialized, what is now considered to be the United States of America and killed Native Americans and pushed them into reservations, that was a good
well,
thing.
we know that they were unaliving each other already. So I mean, that's not a big deal.
Oh, wow, that's insane. So, like, first of all, right, tribal conflicts have existed forever, but tribal conflicts definitely do not justify literal colonialization of the land with a genocide of Native Americans. That's absolutely absurd. I cannot believe that you'd say that.
Well, the
Like rape,
Democrat Party
killing. Like,
the
I just
Democrat
want to put
Party
that out.
promotes genocide. I mean, what do you mean?
How so?
What you think AB is? That's genocide, sir, young man.
Oh, got it. So you think it's genocide to like kill humans regardless of the stage of development. As long as
When
they're
they in the
humans and
womb,
alive, it's wrong.
yeah. It's that's not reasonable to
Okay.
unalive a child in the womb. Yeah, that's
So
kind of
brain dead
weird.
patients are both human and alive, just like the fetus. Do you think that doctors commit genocide when they unplug hundreds of thousands of brain dead patients every year?
Well, if I was brain dead, I would want them to get rid of me. So I mean
Well, actually, you
that's
couldn't
kind of
want or
weird.
desire anything when you're brain dead because you have a permanent cessation of brain function. And
You
then
speak
also
kind of
not
fast. You talk fast. Are you a rapper or something?
so I'm not talking fast, you're just listening slow, but I could
Oh yeah,
definitely meet you halfway.
I
Jocelyn, thank
like
you for the
that.
dollar
I
on
like
PayPal.
that.
Yeah, so once again, you said that it was genocide to kill fetuses, right, through the use of abortion. Well, in the
Yes.
same way that a fetus is human and alive, and that's why you value it, and that's why you think it's wrong slash genocide to kill millions of them, why don't you consider it genocide to unplug hundreds of thousands of brain dead patients every year when brain dead patients are also human and alive?
That's a tough question. I think I will leave that up to the parents or to the family. I don't think a family would want to see their loved one laying on a ventilator somewhere.
Oh, so it should be up to
Yeah.
the parents' decision. What do you
Or
think?
whoever
What
the
do you think I'll
family.
say?
Family. Yeah.
What do you think I'd say about abortion?
That's not
Damn.
the same thing, dude.
Okay, what's the difference?
You think it's the same thing?
Yes.
No, sir.
Okay, what's the
That's not the
difference?
same. What's the difference? I mean,
Yeah.
the baby's a healthy baby being unalived in a womb, that's crazy, dude.
So
Up
I
to
don't think it's
nine
great.
months?
No, not up to 9 months.
How many months?
Um,
Six
so,
weeks?
I think that elective lethal abortions are morally permissible until about 20 to 24 weeks because I don't value a life form if it doesn't have the ability to deploy sentience. Okay, right? If it's not conscious, if it can experience these subjective experiences, if it's not sentient, I don't value it at all.
So let's stop the development all along, all the way, huh? Just stop it, huh?
Can you repeat that? I don't think I quite understood your
I
statement.
said just stop the development of the child or the fetus.
Yeah, fucking kill it. Yeah, I
Um,
value
that's
it just
kind
as
of
much as I value like a rock. In
that's kind of
fact, I
demonic.
probably value like your family pet more than a fetus. Yeah.
That's kind of demonic there.
Well, I mean, I don't think that you
Wow.
have a counter argument. So, if anything, I'd just say that logic is demonic, I guess.
That's not
Barbara, holy
logical.
shit! Thank you so much for the $50 on PayPal. Barbara says, "Stay smart and sassy, Dean. Happy New Year." I really appreciate you for the love, Barbara. I want to see at least 500 W's for Barbara in that chat, literally right now. Thank you for the $50 donation for the new year. Happy New Year, Barbara. Everybody in the chat right now say Happy New Year, Barbara. Thank you so much for the love. And I guess I left. What's up? Did you vote for Trump?
I love you.
Okay, banned. I'm just kidding. I love you too. Thanks for popping up. I appreciate your love. All right, moving on to our next guest. Let's go and see what Aaron Dunn has to say. Ladies and gentlemen, do keep in mind, if you voted for Trump, hop in that queue. We're just looking for some debates here, ladies and gentlemen. Quite frankly, just looking for some debates per usual. You guys kind of know the drill. At this point, we all kind of know what's going on. Go ahead and drop a MAGA down below in that chat if you voted for Trump. Super duper simple, you know. What's up, Ellie? Tell me that you're not going to get banned and that you voted for Trump and that you're here to debate.
Oh shit, I'm sorry, I did not mean to press that.
Banned! I'm just kidding. Batman, are you going to get banned or did you vote for Trump?
I love you.
Okay, you're gonna get banned. Moving on to Nexus. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. That's just a funny way to go about it. Also, yeah. So I went to the mall yesterday. Dude never showed. I mean, they will talk all the tough shit on the internet. Will they hold that same energy in real life? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely, they will not hold that same energy in real life. Francisco, go to just give me 1 second. I unplugged my headset. There we go. What's going on? How old are you?
I'm 19.
Perfect.
I asked you what you wanted for Christmas, so now I'm going to ask you a different question. What's your
You're in a debate. I remember you. All right, moving on. All right, guys. Okay. Listen, we need to have a conversation. I'm making it clear that I only want you in the queue if you voted for Trump. So let's just go ahead and ask this guy that I already know didn't vote for Trump that got back in the queue after I told him. Okay, I have a question. Why did you rejoin the queue, knowing that I'm only looking to debate people that voted for Trump, knowing that you didn't vote for Trump, and knowing that I know you didn't vote for Trump?
Because no one in the queue vote Trump. I love you.
Weakest excuse. Please don't be like them, guys. Please don't be like them, or else you'll actually get banned and it won't just be a joke. What's up? Did you vote for Trump?
What time is it, Phantom?
All right, they're not here. All right, you guys, go back to spamming MAGA in that chat if you voted for Trump. Go back to spamming MAGA. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go ahead and get our next guest up here. So let's see who we got. Everybody, do just give us a minute here. Do just kind of give us a minute to get our next guest up here. What's going on? Did you vote for Trump? All right. I wish that we could get some debates underway. This is annoying the shit out of me. Just drop a MAGA in the chat. We'll pull from the chat instead of the queue because obviously that's not working out. Just be at least 18. Hey. Today? All right, sorry. I'm like multitasking over here, ladies and gentlemen. I have a lot of people texting me. You know that? I have a lot of people texting me. Hello, did you vote for Trump?
I feel like Jesus. I mean, he's Jesus. Donald.
Troll. Hey, did you vote for Trump?
I did.
Awesome. Why's that?
For a better life.
For a better life. Okay. So name one policy that Donald Trump is going to influence through Congress when he is inaugurated that's going to make your life better.
Border policy.
Border policy. Like what policy on the border?
Close the border.
Well, that's a goal. What's a policy that he wants to
Deportation.
use to achieve that goal? A mass deportation? So how is he going to identify all undocumented migrants in our country?
By finding them.
Yeah, but how are we going to find them?
Through employers, through jobs, through
Okay.
housing.
So first of all, Greta, thank you so much for the good afternoon. So employers and jobs. So first of all, it's actually like illegal to like ask for the residency status.
It's also
of a
illegal to
worker
come to this
as
country
long as they have an
undocumented.
ITIN. Yeah, that doesn't change the fact that we will not be able to identify undocumented migrants through their employers because that's just illegal, right? So employers actually can ask for residency
What law?
status as
What
long as a
law?
worker has an ITIN or an SSN. They can't ask for residency status. Do I need to pull up the particular statute? Do I really need to
If
do
you
that,
want
Joey?
to. If you want
Well,
to.
I don't. I can if you really want me to. Let me know if you really want me to, and I will stop talking for like a minute and pull up the particular statute. Is that really something you want? Because if it is, I will do it.
Sure.
Okay, all right, let's do it. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that we're double tapping away on that phone screen, y'all. Yep. Okay. So it's going to be illegal under the National Origin Discrimination, under the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, particularly Section 82120 of, let's see here, Yeah, that's Section 8212 under residency requirement prohibited for public employment. And this is a legislative declaration, revised statute 82120. Got it. So now that we got that taken care of, we're going to go back to my original question. No, we would not be able to use employers to identify undocumented migrants. So how are we going to identify undocumented migrants?
If, well, if the government doesn't have power to go research that through employers, wouldn't employers offer that up?
Why would an employer offer that up?
Because they think the same way. It's
If they thought
ruining
the
jobs
same-
for Americans. It's ruining housing for Americans. It's
No, if the employer is employing them, they obviously don't think the same way.
because they have
So
to.
how are we going to identify undocumented migrants? And then also, I just want to let you know that the revised statute that I just gave you, right, makes it illegal for a business to even ask for the residency of their workers. As long as you provide an ITIN, an SSN, or EIN, you could work, right?
How do they have an SSN if they're illegal?
They have ITINs.
Which is?
It's similar to that of an SSN. But you're still not answering my question. I'm going to give you one last chance to ask it. How are we going to identify all undocumented migrants in America?
I guess you can't identify every single one.
Exactly, right? So like when you say that Donald Trump's going to do this mass deportation, you're just actively spewing BS. It's not going to happen, right? Republicans have been calling for mass deportation for the last 30 years. Bush never did it and Trump never did it because it's practically impossible not only to identify all undocumented migrants, but definitely to deport them. Not to mention that wouldn't make your life better if we were to deport all undocumented migrants. That would make your life worse, right? Because as you just said, right, you want to identify them through their employers. So in other words, they are working, they are providing into the American taxpaying system. Or in the next 7 years, they're going to provide $1.7 trillion to our GDP, right? And because of your prejudice, you want to reduce our GDP and you want to relatively increase your own tax burden by taking more people out of the pool of potential individuals that burden could be placed on, right? So not only is the plan impossible to achieve, but it would also make your life worse.
All right. I don't think so. But I guess
Yeah.
that's where we...
Well, I don't think
We're
so. It's not
different.
a counter argument.
It's also just choosing not to counter that because
Oh, okay. All right.
you can never win.
You can't ever win, and I'm good that you can make that realization. Was there anything else you want to go over, Joey?
Yeah, sure. What about... so I want to ask you this question. Do you think out of the two candidates in the last election, namely Kamala and Trump, Kamala, sorry. Kamala. Who was more inclusive? Inclusive. Oh, you're
Oh
frozen.
yeah, more inclusive and understanding of
Sorry,
rights
you were
of
frozen.
all
I couldn't
people.
hear you.
Yeah, definitely Kamala Harris.
You were frozen. I couldn't hear what you said.
Okay, well I'm back now. So yeah, you asked me what candidate was more inclusive. Kamala Harris.
How so?
Well, I mean, for instance, why don't we start with BIPOC individuals in America? In the 90s, Donald Trump called all black people lazy and then affirmed that that's something that he said. He also refused to provide housing applications to black individuals in the 70s. He also called for the death penalty for the exonerated Central Park Five after they were exonerated for their crimes. As it would pertain to members of the LGBTQ+ community, he calls trans men women and trans women men. He shot down an Equal Rights for All Act under his first term. His tax policy serves as a detriment to those that make less money. He elected justices to the Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade that has left 60 rape victims per day being denied access to abortion in 10 of our states. And I could go on and on and on and on.
Okay. Well, we can start with Roe v. Wade, I guess. That was overturned under the Biden administration.
Yeah, but that doesn't change the truth factor of anything that I said. Can a president overturn a Supreme Court ruling, Joey?
Their administration can have a lot to do with it. That's the same with you saying Trump
How?
implemented things to overturn it. Well, can
a
Trump's
presidential
administration overturn it then?
A presidential administration only has a lot to do with decisions made by the Supreme Court when they are determining what justices are on the Supreme Court. right? And the whole reason why Roe v. Wade got overturned was because Donald Trump had more so appointments to the Supreme Court, and he tasked them with overturning Roe v. Wade. He said that when the appointments were made, and when they did overturn Roe v. Wade, he took credit for it. And so far as the idea that it was under the Biden-Harris administration, you're right, but it had nothing to do with the Biden-Harris administration, as they made no appointments to the Supreme Court, and they can't like tell the Supreme Court not to rule in a certain way, as well as they can't overturn a ruling from the Supreme Court.
Well, then, how do you tie that directly to Trump when it wasn't when you
He
said
made the
the
appointments to the Supreme Court to do it, and he takes credit for it.
So it was the Supreme Court who did it, not him.
No, he elected the justices to the Supreme Court to do it for him. He said that when he elected the justices, and then he took credit for it after the justices had made that ruling, and he's continued to make credit for it, to take credit for it since.
Okay, and they did it under Biden.
Yes. What is irrelevant of that? What is the relevancy of that fact? Also, I want to make it clear with your language, they didn't do it under Biden, right? No one, they were not, the Supreme Court is under no one, okay? Right? The only time the Supreme Court is under anybody is when Congress passes a constitutional amendment. That is the only time that the Supreme Court operates under anyone, right?
And it didn't
Biden
happen.
and Harris had nothing to do with the Supreme Court's decision. Tell me what Biden and Harris had to do with the Supreme Court decision.
Nothing, because they just let it go because they couldn't win.
Wait, what do you mean just let it go? What could they have possibly done? They didn't just let it go in accordance with the checks and balances as offered to our constitutional republic, given the U.S. Constitution. The executive branch of our government cannot overturn a Supreme Court ruling. They could do nothing. The only time the executive branch in Congress has any impact on the decisions of the Supreme Court is either A, when Congress passes a constitutional amendment, or B, when the executive branch appoints a justice, which is then confirmed by the Senate. Okay? Can you name any type of impact that the Biden-Harris administration had?
No.
No. Okay. Right. Because they didn't. So when you try to excuse the fact that Donald Trump made these appointments to the Supreme Court and he instructed them to overturn Roe v. Wade, and he was very verbal and explicit about that, and then they inevitably did overturn Roe v. Wade, and your counter response is that, well, it happened under the Biden-Harris administration, that has nothing to do with anything.
All right. But, I mean, if we're getting down to it, I do not see how you could say how that's not, like, how you could say that's a reason Trump himself is not inclusive.
Because overturning Roe v. Wade would ultimately transcend those rights back to the state, which would prelude to red states banning a woman's access to health care, which is definitely exclusive of women's rights.
How so?
Because infringing upon the ability of a woman to enact upon her basic fundamental human rights of bodily integrity and integrity in the context of access to healthcare with no good reason is incredibly immoral and incredibly exclusive of fundamental human rights.
But it's the state's decision, so why wouldn't someone who wants those rights move to another state?
Would you say that about slavery? Would you agree with the Confederacy saying that slavery should be up to the states? If there's any black people in the American South that didn't want to be owned as property, they can move to the Union? No, you wouldn't say that because you know it's BS.
We live in a different country than in the 1700s. Slavery is not an issue. Never has been for the past.
Well, maybe maybe I needed to explicitly preface more of my question. If you were alive during the times of America prior to the Civil War, would you side with the Union or the Confederacy?
I didn't live then, so I wouldn't know. It's where you're born.
You have no clue if you'd side with the Union or the Confederacy? You have no clue who was
if it was me right now and I took a time travel all the way back to the 1700s, what do you think?
Well, I have no clue because you just told me that you don't know.
Are you serious right now? Are you asking me that question?
Can you clarify on your answer to the question?
Of course I'd be against slavery.
Awesome. And you'd stand with the Union, right? And you'd stand for federal protections against slavery. And it's also, right, very telling that you just said the Confederacy was pro-slavery, when in all actuality, all they wanted was for it to be at the state level. Now, of course, I agree with you here, but what this tells us is that because Donald Trump wants abortion to be at the state level, he's anti-abortion, just like the Confederacy was pro-slavery.
He's not taking
anti-women's
away.
rights. Did you think that Robert E. Lee took something away from the black people living in the American South when he chose to lead the Confederate Army into the Civil War to fight for a state's right to own slaves?
guess you could say that, yes.
Okay. I mean, unless like you have no abstract thought ability, I don't even need to follow that up with a connection to Donald Trump taking away women's rights. It should be quite blatantly obvious and very clear.
Slavery and abortion are two whole separate things. And
Yeah, slavery is very different from abortion.
Tying them together is kind of unbelievable. But
Well, yeah, the logical similarities between infringing upon a woman's access to abortion and infringing upon a black individual's
it's just
human
not the
rights
same.
by
It's just not the same.
by labeling them as property of the white man is this. They both fall under this category of fundamental human rights violations. I find it to be a fundamental human right violation to infringe upon someone's bodily integrity or autonomy without good reason. And in fact, I think that's exactly what slavery was a violation of black individuals' bodily autonomy and integrity with no good reason. So
Well,
they just exist under that same category.
Okay, yes, but it's different. Because
Of course,
you can't-
slavery and abortion are incredibly different, but once again, the connection is the fact that they would both exist under the same categories, fundamental human rights violations.
Is it?
I mean, a fucking
Is it a
course.
human? Okay. Is it a human rights violation to kill something?
What?
Yes. The answer is yes.
Not all the time. Not all the
So
time.
up to
Only if it
22
has
weeks,
human
right? Up
rights.
to 22 weeks is okay.
Yeah, to about 20 to 24 weeks, I don't think it's wrong to end the life of a human. Do you think it is? Do you think that abortion's immoral?
Horribly wrong.
Okay, why?
Because it ruins the capacity of something living inside of the womb. It ruins the capacity for it to become a living being.
So when you say it like terminates the capacity for it to become a living being, you don't make any goddamn sense because it's already a living being. So do you mean it
To
terminates
become
the capacity to live a future
something
like ours?
that has a conscience, that has a mind, ability to do something.
Okay, so in other words, you're saying that consciousness grants you the human right to life, and because a fetus will be conscious in the future, we should just give it the right to life now. Is that your argument?
No, that is not my argument. My
Okay.
my
So
argument
then give me
is
your argument.
it has the ability to become a human being like me and you right now. It already is a human being. It's alive. It's alive from the moment of conception. And it has its own rights, just like every human has its rights that you strive for.
Okay, well, I don't
Already,
think that
as
you're
it is
giving me your
conceived.
argument. So what do you think gives the fetus the moral value that grants it the right to life? Is it just the fact that it's human and alive, or is it the fact that it will have a conscious experience in its future?
Because it's human.
Okay, all right. So I just
A
wanted to
zygote
clarify
is
it.
human.
Yeah. So if there was a
It
zygote,
cannot become anything else but a human.
So if
Therefore,
there's
it
a
is human, and therefore it is living.
so if a zygote was going to remain a zygote, a unicellular human organism for the rest of its existence, and had no potential for growth in its future, would you say I'm a murderer if I kill it?
There's no possible way. It has no
Mark, thank you for the
possible way
dinosaur.
of
Appreciate you for
becoming.
the love. Sure, it's like,
Like if you keep it
cryogenically
if you keep it frozen for eternity,
no, is it murder if I kill it?
yes, because even if it's frozen,
Oh
it
my
still has
god!
the ability.
Wait! I have a question. Would you rather save one human baby or 10 cryogenically frozen human zygotes?
A baby.
Wait, why? Because the baby has just as much moral value as the 10 cryogenically
Because
frozen
I don't
human
think
zygotes.
freezing a zygote is right either. That's stunting its ability to become.
The morality of freezing a zygote has nothing to do with the question I'm asking you. Okay, they're already frozen. Rather you think that was right or wrong, who gives a
would you
shit?
rather
My
question
is, would you rather send...
not a good question for a
Of course it
debate.
is. Wait, no, of course it is. It's blatantly obvious. Like, would you rather save 10 people or one person? You have two buttons in front of you and a gun to your head. You don't press either button, everybody dies. You press button number 1, you save 10 people. You press button number 2, you save one person. What button are you pressing?
I'm not pressing any button.
So everybody dies. 12 people die. The 10 people died, one person dies.
You
and
said
die.
to my head, don't. You're switching it up now. You said
No,
again
I said
to my
everybody
head.
dies. If you don't press either button, everybody dies. So what are you going to do? Are you going to press button number 1 where you save 10 people, or press button number 2 where you save one person?
That is a crazy, crazy question to ask me.
It's a crazy simple question to ask.
crazy simple. Okay. Would I rather save 1 or 10 is what you're asking me.
Yeah, save 10 people and watch one person die, or save one person and watch 10 people die? Fucking answer the question.
I'm dying myself.
That's
not
not
watching
an
anybody
option. No, if you don't press a button, everybody dies. The 10
I don't
people
want
die, the one
anybody to
person
die.
dies, and
That's
you
a
die.
crazy question. That's the stupidest question I ever heard.
It's not a stupid question. It is literally such a simple scenario to answer. In fact, the only reason why you don't want to answer this question is because you are not intellectually honest and you know that I'm going to dunk on you. Stop acting like a child, right? Confront your biases, become a more educated, rational person, and engage full on in this debate. Okay? You were
I am
presented with a
engaged.
scenario.
You're just asking me a
You're not
question
engaged.
about killing
You are
people.
absolutely not engaged. There is a gun to your head with 2 buttons in front of you.
So what's the
Button
gun to
number
my
1.
head doing if everybody dies?
Because if you don't press a button, he pulls a trigger and then kills the other 11 people. Everybody dies. 12 people die. You, the 1 person in the 10, all die if you don't press a button. 2 buttons in front of you. 10 seconds on the clock. Button number 1 saves 10, kills 1. Button number 2 saves 1, kills 10. What
Do I get to
button
choose
are
who
you
the one
pressing?
is?
No, random people. Answer the question, or I'm kicking you. You have 50. You legit have 10 seconds to answer the question before I kick you off the live.
Well, I'm praying that God has mercy on everybody's soul. That's my answer.
Okay. So will you just go ahead and say, I, Joey, am an intellectually dishonest?
I, Joey, am a believer in God and believe.
No, I want you to call
stop
yourself.
debating and
Yes, exactly. You should stop debating because you don't want to engage, right? With
All
your
right, Trump
beliefs,
won. Give it
rationally
up.
speaking. Oh, look at this! You're giving up. No, you're giving up, Joey. And he bowed out, tucked a leg in between the legs, and left. He said, "Stop debating." Trump won. Give it up, and he left. All because he couldn't answer a simple question that would have terminated his worldview. That was a dunk, an absolute dunk, all day long. W's in the chat, uncontested. Second to none. I'm like LeBron. I'm like LeBron, all-time GOAT, right? Crazy game average. Okay, all right. Like, holy shit. Terminated. Okay, we're gonna move on to our next guest. You guys drop a MAGA in the chat if you voted for Trump and you do want to come up and debate. Let's go and get our next guest up here. And Izzy, thank you for the hand arts. Yo, Ali, thank you for the 8 cents on Venmo, as well as Shelby. Thank you so much for. Wait, this is from like yesterday. What the hell? Haley, thank you for the $25 on PayPal. I really appreciate you for the love, Haley. Everybody, please show some love to Haley down below in that comment section. Literally right now, at least 250 W's for Haley. Haley says, from a former Trump supporter, thank you for opening my mind and helping me acknowledge and overcome prejudice beliefs that were ingrained in me very young. Haley, thank you. You are exactly the type of person that I want to reach. Thank you for the love, and thank you for becoming a better person. Now, what is up, Donkey Balls? Did you vote for Trump?
Hello?
Hey, did you vote for Trump?
Oh, hey, Dane, how you doing? Yes, I did.
You did vote for Trump. Okay, why is that?
Well, back in 2020, I voted for Biden. He didn't really do a good job. And I think I figured I should like switch up by
Okay, were you? Okay,
guess
you were
my
on the live
voting-
yesterday. We only talked to people once. Yo, Sacred Souls, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Maybe remind this fool that black women still die at a very disproportionate rate from pregnancy and birth-related complications because of the fact that racism is very much relevant to the conversation. Dude, medical racism is so real and it's not talked about enough. The most obvious example of this is that it's like medically considered harder to diagnose a woman with ADHD or autism compared to a man. Why is that? What's up, Aspen? Did you vote for Trump? Sorry, medical racism and medical misogyny.
Yeah, I did vote for Trump
Okay, why did you do that?
because his policies were better and Kamala was trying to fucking ruin the United States.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and play a game, okay? And if you
Okay.
can't answer either of these questions, I want you to confront your internal biases.
Okay.
But first of all, how old are you?
18,
What year were you born in?
2006.
Okay, you passed the check. Moving on to the questions. Name one policy of Donald Trump's that you think will be good for the country, and name one policy of Kamala Harris's that you think would have destroyed the country.
Okay. Well, for one,
A fetus wouldn't be able to answer this question.
okay. First of all, I think that One of Trump's was that he talked about ending federal taxes. Would have been a good one. And then Kamala for abortion is just crazy.
Okay, so Donald Trump not only is not going to be ending federal taxes, but has actually proposed his tax policy for 2025. So that's not happening. And then abortion is a good thing. I think that women should be legally mandated to get at least 3 a year.
Why is that?
Because it's great.
How? That's like you're killing a child. And you can't even have, you can't.
That's why it's great.
Because you want to kill children?
Duh.
You're crazy, bro. You're crazy for that.
Yeah, give me one reason why unaliving kids is wrong.
Why it's wrong?
You
First of all,
heard me.
it's just a morally wrong situation. Number one. Number two.
Oh, so it's wrong because it's wrong?
Yeah.
Aspen.
Okay. So you're telling me that if someone went out and just like murdered one of your family members, it's just fine?
Okay. Okay.
No,
all
it's
right.
not. Unaliving anyone is not right.
Okay, I'm rage baiting. I'm sorry, Aspen. I'm having fun.
Okay.
I'm having fun. I'm just kidding. Okay, I don't think that killing kids is good. However, I don't think that abortion is wrong. But you do, and why is that?
I think it's wrong because that kid should have a chance to live. Like if you can lay down and make a baby, you can get up and raise one.
Okay, so you think that abortion is wrong because if you could lay down and make a baby, you could get up and raise one.
Yep.
Is there any other reasons why you think it's wrong?
Because it's morally incorrect. And even if you read the Bible too, it's completely wrong in the Bible.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, this is all predicated on the fact that you're a Christian. So I think that we could take an interesting route there. So God says that all sins are equal in his eyes apart from blasphemy, right?
Sure.
So that means that he thinks that abortion is just as wrong as using the Lord's name in vain. So do you think that using the Lord's name in vain should also be illegal?
I didn't say that should be illegal. Obviously, everyone has their freedom of speech. That was
But
decided a
how
long
do you
time
make
ago.
that distinction? If they're both just as wrong as one another, how come you hold to the moral view that one should be illegal and the other should be legal?
Okay, because a long time ago, we all got the right to a freedom of speech, correct?
We did, but what
Exactly.
should be the
So-
case is never predicated on the current legal code.
Okay, but abortion is completely different than saying something. You do understand that?
Not in the eyes of God. Can you give an argument that abortion is completely different than using the Lord's name in vain insofar as how wrong they are in the eyes of God?
They're all wrong. That's my point.
Exactly. They're just as wrong as one another. So do you think it's just as wrong for me to say Jesus Christ as it is for a woman to literally murder her kid in accordance with your worldview?
Yes.
Wait, then I'm sorry. What? Girl, are you
Oh,
serious?
no.
You think murdering someone is on the same level as him saying Jesus
If you're
Christ?
sitting here telling me that they're the same thing,
No.
yeah.
You think I just essentially murdered someone?
Just as equal, then yeah.
Oh no.
Then why shouldn't I be in prison?
Oh,
Aspen, why shouldn't I be in prison?
oh no.
Because there was a right to freedom of speech a long time ago, and that's different. It's different to sit. Oh my god.
Shouldn't there be a right to abortion then?
No.
Well, but that's existed for the past 50 years prior to Trump overturning it by putting 3 Supreme Court justices in office with the explicit reason of overturning Roe versus Wade.
Who are you? Question.
Parker.
Oh, did
Yeah,
you just
what is-
ask the big P who he is?
Yeah, I did.
That is
Aspen, who the fuck are you?
Aspen.
Wow, he took it personally.
That's your name. Is that your name?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, who the fuck are you?
Damn straight. Yup. Period.
You see my name, obviously. So you think
Okay. Okay. You
Gagged.
see my name. Why didn't you look at my name?
Gagged. Oh,
Gagged is like the worst insult you can give.
that wasn't an insult. That was a description of reality. If I wanted to insult you, I'd just like probably say something mean about your level of intelligence because you said murder's just
Okay,
as
and
wrong
my
as
level
using
of
the Lord's name in
intelligence,
vain.
you support Kamala?
Kamala.
First of all, her
Kamala.
name's pronounced
Absolutely.
Kamala, and it's
Absolutely.
your
Aspen.
fault.
Aspen. Can you name me one?
Objectively makes me more
Can
intelligent.
you name one Trump policy he influenced to get passed you think is good?
Yeah, his federal tax that he's passing that he's going to get rid of.
His federal tax. What's the name of the policy?
The name of the policy?
Yeah. Do you see what I mean? Do you see what I mean? How are you going to sit there and say that we're like somehow insane for supporting Kamala Harris when you don't even know a single name of a policy that
Oh my
Trump
God.
passed that you like? Like actually not even a single name. That is like actually like beyond insane. That's like saying, "Oh my God, you're so insane for supporting the Broncos versus the Packers." Like, bro, you're treating this like a football team, okay? What the fuck, dude? This is real life. This is implications on people's rights. It's not football.
I didn't say it was football.
You're treating it like that. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, hey, Nancy, thank you so much for the $30 on PayPal. Nancy says, keep up the good work and remember us old liberal feminists for what we did. Nancy,
Sarah, thank you for the $3. Thank you.
Okay, so then what about immigration?
you led a generational change, and I love you for it. Everybody, please show some love to Nancy. In that comment section, we all look up to you. W Nancy all day long. Thank you for the $30 donation, as well as Lancy. Thank you for the $2 on PayPal. And Madison, thank you for the 37 cents on Venmo.
Okay, so then I have a question for you guys. What did you think was good about what Kamala was doing with immigration?
Kamala. The bipartisan border bill, it would have made it faster for people to go through the asylum process. It would have capped the amount of people who are able to be encountered at the border. It would have specifically made the immigration processes in terms of asylum, right? Actually, it would have made it more likely to establish the likelihood that someone is here like on the correct terms. So it's less likely that you're going to get someone to come here through unjust terms on asylum that aren't actually related to asylum.
So then how come she was letting all of these illegal immigrants in our country, letting them
Letting them? What should she have done?
close the border?
Close the border. Okay, so in order to do that, you need legislation, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did she try to get legislation like a bipartisan border bill passed? Yes. Who undermined that bill? Donald Trump. He called people in Congress to undermine the bill. This is acknowledged by Lindsey Graham. It was acknowledged by Mitch McConnell. These are two very big Republicans. It's acknowledged by James Langford, right, who helped write the bill, who's co-author on the bill, who's a Trump-endorsed Republican. Donald Trump acknowledged it himself, saying, "Blame it on me if the border bill fails."
No, that's not correct.
Oh, because he wanted to make Democrats look bad. That's what he was trying to do. He was trying to exasperate, make the situation worse.
Here's my
right?
point. Is that she was filling in for Joe Biden. She was president. She was the person that made all these decisions. No one else other than Donald Trump had nothing to do with it. He couldn't make those decisions for her. She had to make those decisions on
Do you know how Congress works?
Yeah, I'm aware.
Congress is separate from the presidency.
3.
Congress is separate from the presidency, so they can influence people in Congress, but they can't solely determine it themselves. So Kamala Harris was not the acting president; it was Joe Biden. But working with someone like Joe Biden, right? She was able to get that literally in a position where it was going to get passed, right, within Congress. And Donald Trump undermined the bill because he does not care about actually fixing conditions at the border. He cares about running on them as an issue.
Okay, so what
familiar with our country is going to
So, but then what happened whenever Donald Trump was president? He had that border in complete control. There was no illegal immigrants coming in and killing our citizens.
One second, Aspen.
There were actually. I can reference.
Wait,
go ahead.
1 second.
Molly Tibbetts died under Trump's administration by an undocumented immigrant. Go ahead.
Yeah, for everyone in the chat that's saying that she's not 19, do you guys have any reason why you're saying that? We asked her for her age. She said she was 18. We asked her for her birth year. She said 2006. I'd line up. Do you guys have any reason why you say that she's under 18?
They're just saying she acts like a child. She sounds 16. Okay.
Her posts?
Instagram? Do you have an Instagram, Aspen?
Yeah.
That's connected to this?
No, it's
Lonnie,
not.
I appreciate the $1. Well, do you have that you're 16 in your bio? Just tell us so that we don't have to go find it, because I don't want to waste time.
No.
Are you in high school?
I'm not in high school, no.
When did you graduate?
In 2024.
This year?
Yeah, in May.
Okay.
I'm on my friend's phone.
All right. Yeah, no, that matches up, but I don't know. I haven't looked at the other social media. Dean, you can make the call.
Yeah, we'll just move on. I mean, this conversation's annoying. Oh. Where did Parker go?
Oh, finally.
Did Parker get banned? Okay, now he's back in the queue. Brian, what's going on, my man? Did you
My
vote
fault.
for?
I swiped it on my phone so that I could check to see if they were like their Instagram, if it was connected. And I swiped myself out because I was signed in on my same account. Sid, thank you so much for the $30 for Happy New Year's Eve, King. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm so happy I found you. I found y'all.
Brian,
did you
what's
vote
up?
Trump?
Did you vote for Dumpy Trumpy?
Nice.
Based. Moving on to next is, hey, for the 5.6 thousand people hanging out with us in the room, guys. Everybody, if you focus on the likes right now, we could get up to 1 million likes in literally no time. All right, so let's get up there, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's try to achieve that goal. Just focus on those likes. Fill up the bar a handful of times. You could all do it. If you hear my voice, you are capable. And we're going to move on to our next guest, guys, as well. If you'd like to support either myself or Parker, our Venmos, PayPal's, Cash Apps are in our respective bios. We get 100% of the proceeds on those platforms, as well as we get a message at the top of our phone screens. And we appreciate you guys so much for the love. We're able to give you guys a shout out and read out a message. So we get our next guest loading up at this point. Go ahead and drop a MAGA or two in the chat if you did vote for Trump and you do want to come up. And please do keep in mind the house rules. That just being, if you are in the queue, you have
I love
to
you.
vote
I
for
want to
Trump.
touch tips. Oh my God.
And
I
you
want to
can't be-
touch tips.
And
Yes.
you can't be like that because we're just looking for people that voted for Trump. If you're like that, you're going to get banned. But let's just go to get our next guest up at this point. Everybody just do give us a minute. Parker, if you look, you just want to spam people up to see if one will stick so we could get a guest up soon.
If you type MAGA in the chat and you're 18 plus and you have not been on the live before and you're MAGA, I'll invite you.
What's up, Kaya? Did you vote for Trump?
Yeah.
All right, so Kaya's not here, you guys. Also, yeah, please do make sure that you are present and ready to come up and debate. So we got our next guest loading in. Just keep in mind that you will get banned.
Yo, MC, did you vote Trump?
Please do not skip me. I have been
MC,
wanting
did
to
you vote Trump?
debate my mom. I have topics that I heavily get into debates with her.
All right, moving on to our next guest, you
I
guys.
wish. Did they have their mom there?
If you have your mom there, feel free to. hop back in the queue.
Maybe they did because it sounded like that could be true. I'm not sure though. So
If you have your mom with you, hop back in the queue. What's up, Simply? Did you vote for Trump?
I did not mean to request. Sorry.
No worries, no worries, no worries.
Hey, everyone, I'm just gonna let y'all know. Also, just to be honest, that we have boundaries very clearly set up for the stream. Right? If someone violates our boundaries and we kick them from the stream, that's not rude. If she did have her mom there, that's separate. But also it is there are literally boundaries of the stream. I don't know why it's seen as rude for us to
family loves you. I love you.
when people for literally 20 minutes, 30 minutes every single. Well, actually, we probably spend an hour every day dealing with people who don't actually follow through with our boundaries. It's totally legitimate for us to kick people. I don't think we have an obligation to sit here and listen to people who are violating our boundaries on the live. That doesn't really make any sense to me.
Yeah. I've probably wasted hours and hours and hours of my life collectively since I started streaming, just on people that will come up on the stream that didn't vote for Trump or don't disagree with us. So I mean, in
Yeah.
the grand scheme of things, I hope that you guys could kind of see how it's justified. I lose hours of my life. I waste it all.
Yeah, and I get it, especially with people who don't know. If you don't know, that's not your fault at all. I don't think that's a bad thing. But I mean, for people who do know, because people who are in here oftentimes doing that, they do know, and they still decide to do that and to violate our boundaries. So it's not at all ever going after the people who just don't know or are unsure of this. Grace, thank you so much for the $2. Thank you.
What's up, Matt Girl? Did you vote for Trump?
And Lacey, thank you for the $2. Thank you, Lacey, Nina, and Saskia.
No.
Yeah, see
you see what I mean? You see what I mean? Yeah, you
and I don't even know why people do it after we describe it.
It literally was just talking about it, by the way. Appreciate
Yeah.
the 220.
Hey, guys.
Thank you.
Did you vote for Trump?
I didn't vote for Trump, but I just wanted
see what
to
I
say
mean? See what I mean? I actually don't understand the thought process.
We did just talk about it. There's no way they didn't know about it in that context. Again, if you don't know about it, we have no issue with you at all. But we literally were just talking about it. What? They're either not watching the stream or they just don't care.
Yeah, I don't think that they care. Like, and which is kind of like crazy, like just to not care, like, and then get embarrassed in front of like near 6,000 people. It's crazy. What's up? Did you vote for Trump?
Dean, I love you. I love you so much.
I think it's the fetuses. These are just fetuses, right? Fetuses are just doing it because they're off of school or something. For
Hey,
New
did you
Year's.
vote for Trump?
Yeah.
All right. Why's that, man?
You're asking why I did? Because he just his points and his ideas just
How old are you?
resonate with me more. I'm 20.
What's your birth year?
2004.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Like I was saying, his ideas, his like stance on the economy, his stances on like I don't know, like the striving of our political and national pride, I'd say, and the border for sure.
So he increases pride, and you like his situation at the border. Is that right?
The economy.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so for example, do you think that Hitler was good because he increased Germany's national pride?
Honestly, I don't think what Trump is doing and what Hitler did is even.
No,
like,
I'm
the
just
same
asking.
at
I'm just
all.
asking. Like, does that override any of the bad characteristics that they have?
No,
Make you think that
Hitler
they're good?
Germany was good.
No. Okay, to clarify. Okay, so do you think that someone held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman, forcefully penetrating them against their will, do you think that's a good quality?
Those are just. Were those even?
Oh, MAGA
It was
mobile.
that actually happened, or was it just like rumors?
He was
I
held
don't think
civilly
those are even, like,
liable
those are just,
unanimously amongst a jury of 9 people.
accusations.
It's not just an accusation. Why don't you do any level of research into it by searching it up on Google and seeing that he was held civilly liable? It's a objectively true descriptive statement that he was held civilly liable of forcefully penetrating E. Jean Carroll's vagina against her will. Objectively true.
Look, I'm looking from it from like a political standpoint.
Okay, he's MAGA mobile, Dean. I think we just got to go to the next person.
I don't know if what.
And he also just lost another appeal. Like there was another appeal, right, that took place, and it said that he couldn't even establish like what the judicial or procedural basis was for appealing. He couldn't even establish the reason.
Yo, Christopher, thank you for the $15 on Venmo. W's for Christopher in the chat. That is Kristofer, saying love Parker and yours content. Also, you're actually from Colorado. I sure am. Thank you for the $15. W's for Christopher. As well, Sacred Souls with another $10 donation on Venmo, saying I'm a little extra because I'm sorry y'all are having.
Saying thank
to
you
deal
so
with
much, Sacred. I appreciate it.
people purposefully crossing your boundaries and disrespecting you. I appreciate all that you do. Thank you so much, Sacred. You're awesome. W's for Sacred. Hey, so yeah, why did you vote for Trump, man?
I didn't even vote in the election. I was just supporting.
Beatus. All right, moving on to our next guest here, you guys. We are just looking for some debates. Please do keep that in mind. We got our next guest loading up in Philip Holmes. I did invite you, and I'd love for you to join. We're going to move on to our next guest. You know, drop a MAGA in the chat if you do want to come up and debate. Drop a MAGA in the chat. We are going to try to only get individuals that are spamming MAGA. Philip, what's going on, man? You've been spamming MAGA in my chat for a handful of days. You haven't actually joined yet, so welcome in.
Yes, sir. I got work, so I can't always join, but I'm always happy to support President Trump.
Yeah, Philip, can you name me one
Everything he
policy
does for the
Trump?
nation.
Can you just name me one policy Trump influenced to get passed that you think is good?
Oh, yeah, the Great American Outdoors Act. He helped get funding to national parks to clean them up.
Okay, so then you agree with like more natural and national reserves, things like that?
Yeah, I think
Okay,
he's backed off on eminent domain a lot more as a president than he did as a businessman.
You require
but I
that for the
understand
wall,
why he had to
one.
do some of the things he did as a businessman.
You acquire eminent domain in order to build the wall, one. Two, as it relates to this, in terms of specifically the
our
XL
border.
pipeline
Of
that goes
course you
against
gotta protect your border.
that goes over indigenous land specifically, goes against a treaty. That's a national reserve. One, two, as it relates to this, you can reference literally in Alaska where they specifically want to literally drill everywhere, including in national reserves. So can you please explain to me why you're so pro-national reserve when it comes to that in terms of the policy that Donald Trump influenced, but not pro-national reserve in any of those other situations?
Donald Trump wanted to drill in the Dakotas. He didn't want to drill in Alaska. You can't frack in Alaska. Jimmy Carter made sure that we can't do that.
Oh,
he literally
wait, but he
signed
wasn't.
into legislation.
Oh, isn't that what Republicans were advocating for, though? They were absolutely advocating to start drilling Alaska. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, not President Trump, though. I'm sure there are Republicans out there that support it, but not President Trump.
And in Dakota, in the Dakota specifically, do you think that those are in any national reserves?
Do I think what? I'm sorry.
Do you think those were any national reserves?
I mean, yeah, but you got to use your country's resources and not be super reliant on international relations for everything. I mean, I think at some point you got to dedicate.
Yeah,
some
we're
plot of
less.
land
We're less reliant on countries around the world for energy now. But secondly, I can send you an article right now about Trump wanting to restart drilling in Alaska.
I mean, if he does, I would disagree with that.
Wants
But
in Anwar,
I'm sure
in Anwar,
that
he wants to do that. I can send you multiple articles on this.
He can't drill on certain plots of land. Like there is millions upon millions of acres that are dedicated to national parks that he can't touch and he won't touch. I'm sure it's a plot of land where.
Wait, what makes you think he won't touch
that?
those?
He can actually use it.
He wants to be a dictator on day one and drill, baby, drill.
Okay, the whole dictator line was taken completely out of context, and y'all know it. He's basically
That's exactly what he said. He's a dictator on day one.
Yeah, he's saying he's going to put his foot down to our adversaries. He's not going to let China walk all over us the way they've been for the last few years.
That's not what drill, baby, drill means. That's not what dictator on day one is.
How has China been walking all over us in the last 4 years?
A lot of ways, honestly, financially. I mean, they manipulate the amount, like how much their currency is actually worth, and they're screwing us over.
Wait, how do they manipulate that? Can you tell me how they're manipulating that?
Putting tariffs on foreign countries to make sure
how are they
can't
manipulating
get away.
that?
Then also, if your argument is that Donald Trump is going to stop China walking all over us with tariffs on them, we do understand that Biden kept Trump's tariffs on them. So either China has walked all over us under both Biden and Trump, or China didn't walk over us under either Biden or Trump.
I mean, I'll be honest, like logistically, I don't know every in and out, but I will say like Trump is really good with foreign relations. He knows how to talk to these people. He knows how to, he knows how to negotiate peace deals better, and they respect him. I mean, it's one of those things. Not everything is a policy deal. I mean, policy is important.
Propaganda and lies. So can you name?
No, I mean, but it's the truth.
So
not everything is policy.
It's not. True. What you just said is false. So we have leaked Kremlin documents where Putin literally says that he thinks Trump is easy to manipulate. Do we have leaked Kremlin documents where?
It's not what he said 3 weeks ago.
What did he say 3 weeks ago?
He said he'd be willing to negotiate with the Trump administration on peace deals.
Wait, that doesn't. That's one. That's public. Two, that's not private. Three, you understand that is not indicative of a contradiction to anything Dean said.
If anything, it furthers the point. The reason.
Okay, but who's the sourcing for the things that he quote unquote said in private?
The reason why Putin wants to work with Trump's administration on a peace deal for Ukraine is because he knows that Trump is easy to manipulate, and he will be able to get the most out of what he wants if he works with Trump. That is why Putin interfered with the 2024 election cycle by paying Republican influencers $500,000 a month to push pro-Kremlin, pro-Putin, pro-Trump propaganda to get more people to get out there and vote for him, because Trump will give him what he wants. And we know that this is true, okay?
Trump is not easy to manipulate. He is a seasoned businessman who has made a lot of foreign deals even before
the proposed Trump peace deal for Ukraine is nearly synonymous to what Putin wants for them, okay? Trump does not want Ukraine to win the war. Trump does not want Ukraine to get their land back. Trump
no one
does not
wins
want
that
to continue.
war. No one wins that war. Russia
Ukraine will win the war.
Win.
Ukraine will win the war, right? If they successfully avert Russian advancement on their soil. That is how Ukraine.
He wants to end the war. He doesn't care about who wins. He wants to end the war.
Exactly, and that's the issue. We absolutely.
That's a good thing.
No, that's a bad thing. It's.
So you think
NATO good or bad?
Do you think Korea? Do you think Korea having a DMZ?
No, stop. Is NATO a good thing or is NATO a bad thing?
A little bit of both. I don't really have a straight answer for that. I'm
so sorry. Is fighting
everything.
Against Russian expansion, aka the thing that led to the highest levels of global tension for a third nuclear war, a good thing or a bad thing?
Ukraine has always
what I
been
asked.
linked in with that whole Russian.
Not what I asked.
I think he's pro-Russia. Honestly, I'm getting pro-Russia vibes from you.
I'm
be
pro-peace.
even. I'll be even more
pro-peace.
simple.
I like
No,
the
you're
deal
not.
that
Dude,
I like how he
Trump is
doesn't
trying
say
to
he's not
establish.
pro-Russia.
I need a response to my question. Is Russian expansion good or bad?
It really just depends, because if they try to expand into Poland, it's bad. But if they try to expand in a country that's a lot like theirs, I mean, I'm not going to say it's good, but it's not really our business.
Jesus, no, I didn't ask if it was our business. I asked if it was bad. Do you think that, like, colonialization, war crimes, low-key genocide, and expansion of a country through foreign investment with the use of force is bad? You can't tell me that you
High-key,
think
by the way.
that's bad?
I mean,
oh
yeah,
my
I don't
God.
agree with everything. I don't agree with everything.
So
Russia
you
does, but
think that
I
Russian
don't think it helps
expansion is
to provoke
bad?
them.
Period.
I'm
not
I'll be
asking you,
honest with
but stop.
Philip, let me ask you this question. Do you think Russia invading Ukraine was wrong?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it was right.
Okay, so
but
you
I
think
will
that Russian
say
expansion is bad. All that I want you to tell me, okay, I want you to drop the bullshit, stop being a politician, and just respond to the questions that I'm asking you. I just want to run a very simple argument by your brain, and you are making it the most difficult thing on earth. The only question that I've been trying to ask you for the last 10 minutes is if it's bad for Russia to expand. Is Russia expansion with use of force and death bad?
Through use of force, through unjust use of force, yes, it's bad.
Okay, so Russian expansion is bad. I agree, right? And that's what NATO feels too. That's what the whole world feels too. Why does the whole world feel this? Stop talking. Am I done
Okay,
speaking?
but there are bigger things at stake.
Philip,
like it's
am
like
I done
giving up-
speaking?
Okay, but like
No,
really,
stop. Am
what
I
we're
done
giving up-
speaking? And Philip,
What we're
am I done?
losing
Answer my
is not
damn
worth
question.
the game.
Answer my damn question. Am I done speaking?
Yes. You're quiet right now.
Okay, what are you gonna say? I I don't know.
Philip, answer my question. Am I done speaking?
Yes.
I guess
no.
Sure. You're done speaking.
No.
Are
The
you
answer is no. The answer is no. I'm not done speaking. So why did you interrupt?
Okay.
me?
All right. Go ahead.
Philip, will you promise not to interrupt me?
Sure.
Okay. Hold up your end of that deal. Okay. Don't interrupt me. Russian expansion is bad. The entirety of the world agrees. When Russia's expanded in the past, it led to the deaths of millions of people and the highest level of threat of a third world war that we've ever had. Would you agree?
Under communism, yes. It was when they were the Soviet Union. Yes, that was a terrible thing. But as far as we know right now,
Putin said in an
it's
interview
not.
with Tucker Carlson that he wants to regain all of the land in which was held under the Soviet Union. And when you say communism, all that you're saying is an overreach of governmental power, which we all know Putin deploys, and that's an undeniable fact. He kills political opponents, he assassinates them, he poisons them, he drugs them, and they die. Okay? He invades and ingresses upon fundamental human rights and liberties of people that live in Russia. He prevents the dissemination of news. He controls the media, and he controls the access and allocation of resources such as food, water, and housing. Okay, right? So the overwhelming point here is that Russia expansion is bad. We do not want them to gain new territory, especially territory that they had under the Soviet Union. And when you make the claim, right, that we shouldn't be supporting Ukraine, I think that's a contradiction to what we've agreed upon insofar as Russian expansion being bad. Because in support of Ukraine, all that we're doing is holding the red line in the sand with Russia that we set in the 90s with the Budapest Memorandum, where we said
Then why
defend
did
them if
Bill
they're
Clinton-
invaded, and we made that very clear, right, in a contractual agreement given the Budapest Memorandum.
And Russia
we
signed it.
need to hold that red line
they violated it.
110%. Russia
Okay, then
signed
Christopher, thank you so
why
much.
did they not join NATO
Christopher,
in
thank you for the
1990
$15. Thank you so much, Christopher. I
in
appreciate it.
1995? Like, why not let them in NATO back in the 90s? Why were they turned down multiple times when they tried to reach out to us and say,
Russia,
hey,
what is the reason NATO exists? Tell me.
I mean, it's an alliance. It's an alliance of countries
For what? For what purpose?
for general world peace, or allegedly.
No, NATO is literally to limit Russian expansion. That is the reason NATO exists.
Then why not let Ukraine in. I mean, they wanted in back in the 90s, and Bill Clinton basically said, "Yeah, sure."
Let Ukraine
and they
in.
kind of gave him the runaround, and
I would have been
nothing
okay.
really
I would
happened.
have been okay with Ukraine joining. But the issue is that the U.S. never brought that up because it is the case that Russia said that they didn't want that to happen.
Alora, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love, Alora. Everybody,
Well, if we
please do
really
show some love
cared
to
so
Alora
much
down below in the
about
comment section.
Russian expansion, then we would have let them in to NATO, and then we would have helped them.
Now
get into
you're
NATO.
You're advocating the reason why Russia uses to justify them invading Ukraine is the exact thing we should have done. They literally lie and say that we wanted to specifically get Ukraine into
But
NATO.
you see
right?
the
And then
videos
you're saying we
coming
should
out
have
of
done that.
Ukraine.
I mean, I don't disagree. We should have done. We should have.
It's one of the
put them in NATO.
bloodiest wars we have ever seen with modern technology. Trump wants to put a halt to all the deaths. He
And you
doesn't want
understand-
anybody to win
he wants
or
to put a
lose.
halt to
He
the
just
deaths.
wants
When
there to
has
be a
Russia?
halt.
When
The
has
DMZ
Russia just
established.
stopped? When has Russia stopped? Because whenever we've had a circumstance where they stop like this, they just use it to reload and
It's
reinvade.
funny you asked that because there was a 4-year period. I think you know what I'm talking about, where they did.
Dude, 4-year period. That's exactly what I just said. They reload and reinvade. Are you okay? You just justified my point, Philip. How many goldfish
There are
brain
3
cells do you have in
decades.
your brain?
3 decades where Russia
Are
went
you okay?
nonstop.
You literally just justified my point. You literally just did it without realizing.
How did I justify your point? They've been going for 3 decades.
You said there was
and
a
they stopped
4-year
for 4
period where they
years.
stopped. That means they continued right after the 4-year period. Are you okay, Philip? Are you okay?
You know why they didn't? You know why they didn't?
Oh,
during
you
that
know
4
why they
years?
didn't.
I can
Oh
tell
my
you
God, I'm
why.
gonna cry,
Because
bro.
they
I'm
knew
gonna
Trump
cry.
wasn't playing around. They knew he was serious about his threats.
Actually, you have no evidence to posit that. That is pure speculation and the baseless hypothesis. I can merely posit the baseless hypothesis that they simply
And it was
had to
more than
reload.
4 years, by the way. It was 2014 was the annexation of Crimea.
And I
Yeah,
also
well,
just-
this kind of goes back to not every single thing
Bro,
is policy.
I was saying
Trump
something,
has a very
Philip.
strong character in that.
Philip, I was literally in the middle of saying something, man. Come on, bro. Let's be better than that.
Dean is still less likely to mute people now. Bro, just mute him.
I try not to mute people. But anyway,
I would rather mute them than scream over them. So that's just
So yeah, you posited this hypothesis that the reason Russia didn't invade Ukraine further under Trump was because he was scared of Trump. Yeah, I kind of refute that. I think that's a baseless hypothesis based upon pure speculation with no evidence, and you know that. The only reason that you repeat,
No,
is regurgitate.
I actually
What are
know
you
the
doing,
opposite.
Philip? What the hell are you doing?
getting muted.
Do you have impulse control? Why?
Nope.
Why is it that like all of these MAGA quote unquote men have like the impulse control of my 6-year-old nephew?
I don't like listening to bullcrap nonstop. I'll be honest with you. It's just. I mean, I got to interrupt you
Do
at
you need
some
a safe
point.
space, Philip?
watch-
Because facts aren't safe for you. Do
Watch
you need a
this.
safe space?
Watch.
Okay,
watch
but
this,
what
Philip.
facts do you have to,
Watch
to prove
this.
the
Watch
opposite?
this.
telling you
watch
right now,
this,
let him
What
do it.
facts do you have to prove the
Watch
opposite?
this,
Because
Philip.
under his
He's
term,
currently trying to show
nothing
you.
happened.
5,
Hey, Philip.
4. There
Zip
you go.
it. Zip it. Zip
Okay.
it, Philip.
So I made the claim that your hypothesis that the reason Russia didn't invade Ukraine under Trump's administration was bullshit, was baseless, was as pure speculation with no evidence. And then you
It
called
happened
that,
though.
Philip.
Bro, this guy, dude, I can't, bro.
Like, dude, you can keep tone policing me, but I'm telling.
I'm not tone
Tone
policing
policing
you. I'm
you?
telling you to shut the
What?
hell up. This is your last opportunity. You interrupt again, you're gone. Your 5 minutes of fame are over, and you will no longer be in the presence of Dean Withers and the Big P. Okay? All right, Philip.
What?
You're just gonna be left alone with your little P. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go back to what I was saying. I made the claim that your hypothesis that the reason Russia didn't invade Ukraine under Trump's admin was complete bullshit based on speculation and had no evidence. And then you said in response that that was bullshit. Okay. So, in other words, you're saying that my statement was false. And in order for my statement to be false, you're making the implication that there actually does exist evidence that the reason Russia didn't invade Ukraine under Trump was because of Trump's strong leadership. So go ahead and give me the evidence for your hypothesis. And no, just saying, well, they did it and he was president. That's not evidence. That's a fallacy. Particularly,
It's not a fallacy.
So what's the evidence?
Okay, so if I were to test it with the scientific method, I mean, if you
asked
look at
you
the
for
last
your
3-4
evidence.
decades where Russia was making moves, they didn't
I
make any
asked you
during
for
that
your
4-year period.
But saying that they didn't make a move during that 4-year period right, is true. However, you're saying that they didn't make it for a move because of Trump's strong leadership, and that's the part of the hypothesis that you have no evidence for. That's the part that I'm asking you for evidence on, right? Because I could posit the hypothesis that the reason they didn't invade during those 4 years is because they didn't have the means to invade, right? They spent those 4 years focusing on their own military, rebuilding their own resources, right? Building more weapons, constructing more bombs, readying their forces, and preparing for the invasion and planning strategy. That's why they didn't invade during those 4 years. But see, the thing is I have no evidence. It's purely speculation. The same way you have no evidence and you're purely speculating that the reason they didn't invade was because of Trump's leadership. So grant me evidence for your hypothesis that the reason they didn't invade during those 4 years was because of Trump. Grant me evidence for your hypothesis that the reason they didn't.
Okay, I'm hearing you twice for some reason. I don't know why. I can't really hear what you're saying.
Swipe in and out of the app. And Philip, I'm going to be honest. If you don't understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, I'm kicking you and ignoring you. Is that fair, chat? Have I made
Okay, I can hear you now. What? I missed that whole.
Have I made every single statement in response fair and clear, concise?
No, you're disingenuous, Dean. You're so disingenuous. I can't even engage with you, bro.
Well, look, I respect results over
all your questions
all
are
of this
suggestive.
conceptual stuff.
All your arguments
honestly,
are fallacies.
Yeah.
No,
So,
you
Philip,
look at the facts. Why are you ignoring the facts?
Repeat my question and then answer it.
You keep muting me because you know I'm
because
right.
No, you haven't said anything to be right. I'm asking you to repeat the question I asked you.
But the answer is simple.
What's the question I asked you?
It doesn't have to be like a complicated thing. It's very
Hey,
simple.
Philip, what question did I ask you?
You asked me why Russia didn't invade any countries during Trump's term.
That is not the
And
question that I asked.
logistically, I don't. Okay, we'll repeat the question.
Give me evidence for your hypothesis that the reason Russia did not invade Ukraine under Trump's administration was specifically because of Trump. The same way I could posit a spectacle hypothesis that the reason they didn't invade.
Because he presented us with strength. He made threats and he followed through on some of those threats, and they knew he was serious. Well, he would go after certain terrorist groups. He would bomb the crap out of people that would not, that were basically posing a security threat to the United States. I mean, he wasn't playing around.
So that's not evidence.
How is that not evidence? If
Because
he is
that's
showing our
that's
adversaries
just
that
another
he,
form of speculation that he presented us with strength.
how is that speculation?
Because if we want to look at the
I-
policy of the two political parties, the Republicans and the Democrats, we know that the Democrats have a more strong approach, right, in standing in opposition against Russia, and you can't deny that. The Democrats.
That is just objectively wrong.
The
I'm going to
Democrats
be
want
honest with
Ukraine
you.
to win and want to continue to give them billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars to do it. What do the Republicans want to do?
It's just you're kind of confusing the matter here a little bit.
I'm taking the
because-
talking points from you. It's always the Republicans complaining about how strong and pro-Ukraine the Democrat Party is and how we're giving them billions and billions and billions of dollars that could be spent on American citizens. Obviously, that's the stronger
so
anti-Russia approach. What do the
basically-
Republicans want to do that is more anti-Russia than that?
So basically, you're wanting to continue funding
You're
your
not
war
answering
machine.
my
Y'all
question.
aren't pro-peace. The
I'm
Republicans
asking
are
you, what
pro-peace.
does the Republican Party and Trump want to do that is more anti-Russia than that?
Okay, but see, here's the thing: the Republicans don't think on the stance.
What is the
pro-Russia or
policy-related
anti-Russia.
stance that shows more
It's
strength against
pro-peace.
Russia than what the Democrats
he
are
just wants
doing?
the war to end. He wants.
So then
the
you
war
agree
to,
that the
wants
Democrats are
bloodshed
more
to stop. He
anti-Russia
wants
than the
DMZ
Republicans, right?
established on the border of the Donbas
So then you agree
region,
that the Democrats are
and he
more
wants the war to
anti-Russia than
stop.
the Republicans, right?
I wouldn't
So
say
then
so. I'd
give
say
me
in a
the
way they're
policy
kinda
that
like
demonstrates
a little-
a higher level of an anti-Russian sentiment than wanting to fund and give billions of dollars to the to Ukraine to fight against Russian opposition, standing for Ukraine to win. Demonstrate the sentiment in the
I'm
policy
gonna
from
be
the
honest
Republican
with you when
Party
I say
that
this.
demonstrates a louder and stronger anti-Russia stance.
I'm going to be honest with you when I say I think it's more anti-American than it is.
You're not
anti-Russian.
answering my question. You're
Because
not
taking
answering my
tax
question.
dollars away from the American
You're making a
people
whole other argument
to fund
Philip,
a country that's
this
not
is a
even in
whole
NATO.
other argument that I will address after you answer my question. Demonstrate the sentiment or policy related to the Republican Party that would show a stronger anti-Russian sentiment from the Republican Party.
But so here's what I'm hearing. You're more for taking the money out of the American taxpayers and funding a war that's not even part of our alliance.
Philip, you can
so
leave now, man.
just to prove that you're
You can leave.
anti-Russian. Just to prove that
Philip,
you're
with all-
anti-Russian.
Philip, with
That's
all due
what I'm
respect,
hearing.
You can leave now because you are refusing to answer my question. I don't waste time on idiots. You can leave. I mean that.
I'm not doing this cookie cutter answer.
I know. I know you're not going to answer
questions.
questions because you can't. Because you know that you're wrong, right? Objectively speaking, the truth is not afraid of scrutiny. And when you posit the claim that the Republican Party stands as more opposed to Russia than the Democrat Party, and you can't give me one policy-oriented position insofar as how that's the case, you can
Well, the
leave.
importance of it is lacking. I'll be honest with you. It really is. It doesn't matter. I mean, I'm
it
not here
absolutely
to
does matter.
establish.
It absolutely does matter, and I'll demonstrate the relevance. The reason why the question matters is because you said that the reason Russia did not invade Ukraine under Trump's administration because Trump exuberated strength and confidence with an anti-Russian sentiment, right? Insofar as that scared Putin into not invading Ukraine. My counterclaim is that the Democrat Party is actually more anti-Russia than the Republican Party. If the claim that the Democrat Party is more anti-Russian than the Republican Party is true, that would mean that the Republican Party actually demonstrates less strength against Russia than the Democrat Party. Would you affirm that?
I don't agree. I don't.
What?
I think we prioritize what needs to
What?
be
That's a logical
prioritized.
entailment. That is a logical entailment. If X, then Y. If Democrats more anti-Russia than Republicans less strong against Russia than Democrats. That is a logical entailment. Can you just where did I go
just
wrong
feel
with
like
my
there's
logic?
a lot of faux rage at Russia just to prove that we're anti-Russian. Like, why
You're
not
not
actually
no,
try
no,
to solve
I want you to
the
dispute my
problem?
logic. I want you to dispute my logic. If the Republicans are less anti-Russia than Democrats, then Democrats are stronger against Russia than Republicans. Do you agree or disagree with that if-then conditional statement? If X is true, then Y is true. Do you disagree or do you agree with that conditional statement?
But it's not like I'm not giving you a straight yes or no to that because it's
Okay,
not that.
fuck you, please.
You know that.
It is. No, this is logic. This is binary. What is the second classical law of logic? The law of the excluded middle, meaning a proposition could either be true or false. So when I ask you to respond with a yes or no to the question,
So it's
is this
either-
proposition true or false? And you say, well, I'm not going to tell you if that's true or false. Well, you're just denying the second classical law of logic. You're denying the pure simplistic facts of reality, and you are demonstrating why what I do is so important. I've been able to reduce every single Trump supporter that has joined this live into literally refusing and failing to answer very simple questions, even just
Yeah, but
telling you
here's the
that
thing.
if then conditional is true or false. So now I'm going to ask you another true or false question. Is it true or false that a proposition can either be true or false?
I'm going to answer your original
shut
question.
up. Is it true or false that a proposition can either be true or false?
Like, am I in
Shut
high
up.
school or something?
Shut up.
Am I like?
Shut up. Is it
English?
true or false that a proposition can either be true or false?
Honestly, I'd like to go back to the subject
Shut up.
matter. If I'm being
Answer
honest
the
with you.
question.
It's kind of irrelevant at this moment.
It's not irrelevant. Why have you refused and failed to answer every single thing I've asked of you in the last 30 minutes? This is the easiest question like known to mankind.
Because it's
There's
a bait.
seriously
It's
never
a bait
been a.
question. I'm giving you.
It's
real
not
answers.
a bait question, you dummy. It's not a bait question, you dummy. I'm literally just asking you if a proposition has to be either true or false. Is it true or false that a proposition is either necessarily true or necessarily false?
Here's the thing.
Shut up
We
and
don't
answer the
hate
goddamn question,
Russian
Philip.
people.
I'm not talking about Russia. I'm not talking about Russian people. I'm not talking about Ukraine. I'm talking about logic. We need to be able to frame this conversation in some way that we both understand. I asked you an if then conditional question that pertained to our conversation about Russia, Ukraine, and politics, and you said, well, that's not a yes or a no. So, yeah, well, that's the proposition that I'm now rejecting because all propositions are either true or false. You contest the statement that all propositions are either true or false.
Well, I know that Trump wants to prevent the bloodshed. He
Shut
doesn't want
up! Shut up,
so
Philip.
Dean, I
Shut
just
up.
believe things that can be in like an undetermined state, right?
Yeah. Parker, I'm going to crash out.
Actually,
Parker.
technically within physics, that is possible now for things to be in an undetermined state of probability. Did you know that?
Yeah, but a wave function is not a proposition. Philip, is it true or false that all propositions are either true or false? You have 3 more attempts to answer this question. If you don't, I'm kicking you.
I'm sure what you want to hear is yes. The textbook answer is more than like.
Shut the fuck up. I'm not asking you what I want to hear. I'm asking for your answer. Two chances left. Is it true or false that all propositions are either true or false?
Textbook wise, yes.
Shut the fuck up. I'm not saying textbook wise. I want Philip wise. Is it last chance? Is it true or false that all propositions are either true or false?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Is the statement, if the Democrats hold a stronger anti-Russian sentiment in their policy than the Republicans, then the Democrats are stronger against Russia, a proposition?
Okay, but here's the thing. If
3
you're
fucking
going
chances.
to
3 fucking chances. Is that statement a proposition?
It's not that simple, and you know it's
Shut the fuck up. Yes or no? You already affirmed that all propositions are either true or false, so it literally is that simple. 2 chances left. Is that statement a proposition?
What if you're affecting everybody
Shut
else?
the fuck up. You 1 chance left before you're kicked. Is that statement a proposition?
This is censorship.
Yeah,
This is
fuck you. You're gone.
This is censorship.
Unreal. 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 Absolutely.
This is censorship. A private business deciding to not have someone on their platform. That is censorship. That is censorship.